Boys and girls, we're going to be getting into a new unit. We're going to continue this unit, but the name of the book is Number the Stars. Remember, on Monday we played games, and first we talked about the Holocaust and what the Holocaust was, and some of you guys guessed that it was about Anne Frank's life and her story, and we got into a little bit, not much, about what the Holocaust actually is. It's not necessarily Anne Frank, it's her perception of it. Alright, so now we're going to talk about Number the Stars, exploring main idea and key details. So this is really about, so our learning targets today are that we're going to explore the powerful story of Number the Stars. We're going to get ready to listen to the song Rise Up. So remember, we listened to the other song Glory by Common on Monday. I don't know if you remember, that was a little while ago. But we're going to listen to a song called Rise Up, and it's by Andrea Day. And so what you're going to do is, we're going to listen to the song, and then we're going to write one phrase on a sticky note, and we're going to stick it up here on the board, and you're going to tell me, how did that make you feel? So I'm going to close this for a second, and we're going to go over here to YouTube. Have you ever heard the song? Probably have. You haven't.
Actually, listen.
You might not know the name, but you probably heard it before. It's a pretty popular song. So, I want to give you a sticky note.
Welcome to the 100-degree swoop antiperspirants called Stand Up to the Heat. Looks like ordinary antiperspirants can't fight sweat.
Living life on a merry-go-round. You can't find a either. But I see it in you, so we can walk it out. Ooh, mountain. Walk it out. Ooh, mountain. And I rise up. I rise like the day. I rise up. I rise unafraid. I rise up. And I do it 1,000 times again. And I rise up. I rise up. In spite of the ache, I rise up. And I do it 1,000 times again.
Okay, so on your sticky note, I want you to write how just that little snippet of the song made you feel. And then I want you to stick it on the board. So remember that we talked about thinking beyond surface thinking, that when we're writing down and when we're having prompts like this, that we're thinking beyond just like to the store, oh, what's right in front of me before my eyes, but thinking deep. When I rise up, I'm gonna rise up out of something that's been holding me down. A bully, a friend passing away, a friend moving away. How I'm going to rise out of the ashes from how I felt, and I'm going to go on with my life, basically is what the song is talking about, right? So think about that. How does that make you feel when you think about, I'm gonna rise up out of this. I'm gonna be victorious after this situation is over.
Go.
Right? And so now let's look at what some of your responses are. Rising up in heaven. Somebody else put, the song made me feel happy and sad. And the last one, it made me feel like I am an independent woman and I don't need a man. Rise up, girl. So we talked about what the song means, and that's what you got out of it, which is great. Somebody said they feel happy and sad. Why? If you don't mind sharing. Why did it make you feel happy and sad?
I don't know.
You don't mind? Why did it make you feel happy and sad? You don't know? Just gave you two different feelings? Alright. So, connected about our story. Number the Stars is a story about courage during World War II. The main characters face danger and fear. Like the song Rise Up, the characters show incredible bravery, and we'll learn how ordinary people can do extraordinary things. So this is about two girls in this story. They're talking about their experience during the Holocaust, and it's going to talk about their bravery. The Holocaust, remember we talked about were when the were killed by the Nazis. We're going to get into all of these words. I know it sounds like a bunch of different terms, but we're going to get into what those terms mean. All right. Today's goal is to identify the main idea and key details. And what is the main idea? What is the big message? What's most important about the story that we're about to read? And you'll become a reading detective today, okay? So World War II, let's just do a brief little overview. There was a global conflict from 1939 to 1945. Many countries were involved, like Nazi invaded and controlled multiple countries like Denmark. And Denmark is the story takes place in the book, and people had to be brave to survive to help other people. All right, about Number the Stars. This is the book that we're actually going to read, and you're going to see a picture of what that looks like. It is a historical fiction book set in Denmark during World War II. It focuses on friendship and bravery. What is bravery? Okay, so it's two stories of two friends, Anne-Marie and Ellen, and it exposes the theme of courage and resistance. So what is resistance, Khalil? Like, you don't want to do it. So if they were in a situation where they had to survive, who do you think that they were resisting? The Nazis. All right, understand the main idea. Main idea is the big message of a text. The key details are the supporting examples. So we talk about this when we use the race theory, right? We go on and we highlight the title. We go in and we underline important words and key details in the story that can help us answer questions, correct? So the main idea is the big picture. The key details are like puzzle pieces to help us complete the picture, okay? So we'll practice, all right? So we're gonna analyze the text. This is an excerpt from the book, and we're gonna look at some passages from the book, but I also took the liberty of taking the passage and just making it a little bit more simplified so that it won't be so tough to find our main idea and our key details. All right, so you're going to practice with a partner, okay? I was trying to get to I think I have another presentation that has a picture of the book, but for some reason they won't let me open it up on the board. But I'll print it out for you. It's a picture of the actual book. It shows the girl. It also shows what star they're talking about. They're talking about the Star of David. So Jewish people, you ever see that they have stars of David on their clothes, maybe on their hats, maybe on their cars? What does that Star of David look like? It's a 5-point star, okay? So, sorry about it, so big. This is the story cover, Number the Stars. I guess this is supposed to depict one of the girls in the story. And this is the star that I was telling you guys about. It's the Star of David. So when they're talking about the stars, they're not talking about the stars in the sky. They're talking about numbering the stars, the number of people that wear these stars or are associated with Judaism, okay? It was a type of religion. Do you guys know that? Like Christianity, Judaism is a type of religion, okay? This is an excerpt from the book. We're going to read it really quickly. I'll race you to the corner, Ellen. Anne-Marie adjusted her thick leather bag on her back so that her school books would balance evenly. Ready? She looked at her best friend. Go! She shouted, and the two girls were off, racing along the residential sidewalk. Anne-Marie's blonde pigtails bounced against her shoulders. Wait for me, Chrissy's voice trailed behind her. Come on, Ellen, she called. Suddenly, the girls rounded the corner and they saw two soldiers standing there. They wore tall boots and they had shiny guns. One of them held up his hand and said, "Halt!" The girls stopped fast. Anne-Marie grabbed Ellen's arm. The soldiers stepped towards him. Where are you going? He asked in a serious voice. Okay, so basically, what do you think is going on? What's the main idea? So what do you think the main idea is?
The main idea is probably like the girls playing around and the soldiers stopped them.
Yeah, so like they're outside, they're playing, and then they run into the German soldiers, right? And they stopped. What are the key details in this excerpt that let you know that that's what's going on? That's the main idea.
Because of what because what said, hold on.
In a serious voice. Okay, all right. Let you know that they were playing.
Because they was running along.
Yeah. As an independent practice, I have a worksheet and I have a graphic organizer, and you're going to take this and you're going to complete these worksheets together. Then you're going to do it alone. Okay? So I'll have you and Khalil work over here on the worksheet, and we will get started.
Mama told Anne-Marie and Alan to come inside quickly. She looked out the window, checking to see if the soldiers were still nearby. The girls sat at the table. Ellen felt nervous, checking to see Well, Mama gave them warm tea and tired smile. We must be careful now, Mama said gently. It is not safe before. It's not safe like before. Ellen Emery's hand, she didn't see anything, but she was glad Mama was there.
Okay, so then here you're going to put the main idea that you thought from this excerpt, and then you can pick 3 key details, or you can use this one if it's more, like, you can see better. And I put some sentence starters at the bottom of this one, so if you like need help get started with what you think. So like whatever you write your sentence as, or if you need help getting your idea started. So the main idea of this passage was, and so over here, what do you think the main idea of the passage was?
Wait, are you ready?
You can use this empty space, or you can write in these boxes. That's why I put them there. You can write in the boxes. Okay, so when I'm looking for the main idea, you're gonna come back up here from the title. I'll underline the title, and then I'll underline key details. Remember, that helps think what I think the main idea is. What do you think the main idea of this particular passage was?
Mom is keeping them safe.
The mom is trying to keep them safe. Okay, so you can put that. So you can say the main idea of this passage is that the mom is trying to keep them safe. So that's your first one, right?
Can you pick the main idea on this paper?
You can write it down here in this open space, or you can write it on here. It doesn't matter. All right, good. So now that you work with your partner, I did have an assignment for independent practice, but we ran out of time due to the testing practice from earlier. So we'll just go over, we'll reflect and so what did you learn today?
About memory and
In the stars.
Okay, and how did understanding the main idea help the reader? How does knowing what the main idea help you as a reader? You think it helps you process like what you or get a better idea of what's going on once you figure out what the main idea is?
Yeah, probably.
So I was reading a story and it was about green eggs and ham. Once I understand that the story is not really about green eggs and ham, but it's about trying something new, does that change my perspective of the book?
Yeah.
Okay, so it worked. I think you guys did really good with trying to go through and find what the key details of the story were. And I'm gonna leave you with this thought. You guys are brave, just like Anne-Marie, and you guys can rise up just like that song with Andrea Day. You guys are awesome, and I think that the more you practice, you're gonna rise up to be excellent readers.